This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our new sponsor, Greenworks Consults, a company run by longtime listener to the show, Jason, who's an expert when it comes to helping businesses get better at doing business. Jason and his team over at Greenworks Consults are good at helping entrepreneurs tune up and dial in their business operations through better project management, workflow mapping and design, and process standardization. They're experts in Lean and Six Sigma and can work with you to make things run more smoothly and profitably. Learn more about what Greenworks Consults is up to over at greenworksconsults.com, with works spelled W-O-R-X. That's greenworksconsults.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, January 10th, 2020, and you're tuned in to episode 863 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We lead off the day with a story over Marijuana Moment detailing the change of heart on marijuana policy reform seemingly had by Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy III, who has generally been known to be firmly in the camp of cannabis prohibitionists, going as far as to lend support for the anti-marijuana organization Smarter Approaches to Marijuana, or Project SAM. But as Marijuana Moment's Kyle Yeager nicely details in his piece, Congressman Kennedy just signed on as a co-sponsor of the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or the MORE Act, a proposed bill that would deschedule marijuana and scrub past criminal records for low-level cannabis charges, while also setting up a 5% sales tax to fund community reinvestment projects. With Congressman Kennedy now on board, the MORE Act has a total of 67 co-sponsors. Kyle's story has more here if you need it. Last night in Massachusetts, the monthly meeting held by the state's Cannabis Control Commission was cut short when protesters took the stage, calling for the quicker processing of applications for Economic Empowerment Program participants. This is the second monthly meeting that's been interrupted by protesters, with the commission yesterday approving a raft of applications from December's meeting that were delayed because of those protests. Massachusetts has been very slow in rolling out its adult use sales program, with just over 30 dispensaries in all open up statewide, more than a year after adult use sales were first made legal. This is a good one to read in full today. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. We wrap up today's top stories with a good headline out of Canada, where it appears that reports from earlier this week that Canada's provincial agency Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis was not going to be purchasing marijuana products from micro-level licensed cultivators was incorrect. Leafly has all the facts on this one, but apparently there was a miscommunication over email between a micro-cultivator and someone at Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis, who mistakenly said that micro-cultivators were too small to sell to the province. That incorrect news first broke in Leafly earlier this week, prompting Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis to contact the micro-cultivator and to clarify that yes, they would be able to sell products into the provincial market. If this concerns you in any way, another one you probably want to read in full. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it on headlines, let's quickly thank our new sponsor, Greenworks Consults, which is run by longtime listener to the show, Jason, who is an expert when it comes to helping businesses get better at doing business. Jason and his team at Greenworks Consults, with works spelled W-O-R-X, can help you do everything from implementing new business strategies to setting up ultra-efficient work processes. By tuning up and dialing in your business operations, you'll cut out costly waste and keep more money in your bank at the end of every month. The days of being able to just throw up a marijuana storefront and thriving with little effort are just about gone. And it's the businesses that focus on making their operations more efficient who will be better positioned to grab current and future opportunities. Jason and his team are masters at developing standard operating procedures, systems of metrics, Lean, Six Sigma, and business process management. Swing over to greenworksconsults.com, again with works spelled W-O-R-X, and get in touch with the Greenworks team to get started on your path to better business. That's greenworksconsults.com. All right, time for the blitz. Tom Angel, writing over at Forbes, picked up on Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's State of the Commonwealth address given on Wednesday, in which he called for legislation to decriminalize the possession of small amounts of marijuana. saying, quote, "We need to take an honest look at our criminal justice system to make sure we're treating people fairly and using taxpayer dollars wisely. This means decriminalizing marijuana possession and clearing the records of people who have gotten in trouble for it," unquote. There's been a lot of movement on progressive cannabis policy reform in Virginia over the last year or so Governor Northam's comments bode well for actual change being implemented. Tom Story has more here if you want. Illinois is starting up the process of licensing legal marijuana craft growers, transporters, and infusers, with the state's Department of Agriculture just announcing that it would accept applications between February 14th and March 16th. Applications for those three license types are now online and will come with a non-refundable $5,000 fee. Upon being awarded a license, expected to happen by July 1st, winners will have to pay up a further $5,000 for infusion businesses, $10,000 for those involved in transportation, and $40,000 for craft growers. BDS Analytics just released a report looking at how the now descendant vape health scare affected the sale of legal marijuana vaporizer products, specifically looking at how sales tracked in California, Colorado, Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona. According to BDS Analytics, sales in those 5 legal states of legal vape products fell 21% from August to September, and then dropped 5% the next month into October, the last month for which there is parsable data right now. Pop over to Bill Peters' story on this one for more numbers and details. Las Vegas marijuana superstore Planet 13 just released some early fiscal numbers for 2019, showing revenue on the year of $63 million, spread out over just under 700,000 customers, making individual transactions that averaged $90. Planet 13 is easily the largest dispensary in the industry, located in the largest party town in the nation, so I think it's worth tracking. Another good one to read in full. Oregon Live is reporting on a case involving 2 illicit market drug dealers who tied up the manager of a storage facility for a couple of hours, threatening him with a gun after they discovered that 500 pounds of their marijuana had been stolen from their storage unit. The police eventually caught up with the 2, who thankfully didn't physically harm the storage facility manager, and they recently went on trial for their crimes. During trial proceedings on Wednesday, the judge in the case criticized the U.S. DEA for its part in the whole affair, as it was DEA agents who busted in and seized the drug dealer's marijuana under a law enforcement program called Sneak and Peek that lets cops break in and take evidence without arresting or informing anyone. In this case, the judge said it was quote-unquote disturbing that the storage facility manager was kidnapped because of the Sneak and Peek program. In a day full of stories you probably want to read in full today, I'd add this one to the list. Kyle's back with another headline, this time detailing a recently published report from the Federal Bank of Kansas City looking at how Colorado's legal marijuana market has evolved over the last 6 years or so. This one is pretty dense with details, so again, I'd open this one up in full so you can read the actual report yourself. But in short, the Fed of KC thinks Colorado's legal marijuana industry has shown signs of maturation, but should expect to see healthy growth continue in the coming years. As you might expect from an institution like the Federal Bank, the report also touches on the difficulties imposed on legal marijuana by federal restrictions on cannabis business banking. Read this one. Kyle wraps up today's stories and the news for the week with an update out of Mississippi, where a proposed ballot measure to legalize medical marijuana qualified for the fall elections this week. Mississippi's Republican Governor Phil Bryant tweeted on Wednesday, quote, "Met with physicians and others on the Board of Health who oppose this amendment to our Constitution. I agree that we need to defeat this proposal in its current form," unquote. Governor Bryant's use of the phrase "in its current form" is notable because the state legislature does have the ability to craft its own legalization ballot measure to compete in November's elections with the one just submitted by the people. We'll keep an eye on this one for sure. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Greenworks Consults, and to our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.